Thank you, Co-Chair Grassley. I'll follow up on Senator Grassley's last question by inquiring with respect to the Chinese money laundering activities. You mentioned bulk cash, darknet, cryptocurrencies, and other methods. Or have you been able to use sanctions against any Chinese money laundering organizations?
Yeah, as part of the new executive order that the president signed in December of last year, our first sort of tranche of designation was related to these Chinese-based entities that are sending precursor chemicals to Mexico, as well as the financial infrastructure that supports that. So that's been a focus in terms of the virtual asset space. As you know, virtual coins are now illegal in China. So you see less of that type of engagement in China as opposed to other parts of the world.
Ambassador Robinson,
Senator, I just wanted to chime in on the end of that. We are working very closely with OPGAT globally to help train governments on money laundering techniques using cryptocurrency. So,
the Chinese government.
I'm sorry?
The Chinese government you're training.
No, our partner government. So in Vietnam, in Laos, in Thailand, in Panama in particular, we have a five-year program helping them work with their financial intelligence unit.
Because my understanding is that the Chinese government has not been very helpful about addressing money laundering concerns.
That is correct.
The bicentennial framework helps coordinate our efforts with Mexico. Have you seen any progress under that framework in dealing with financial networks of Mexican cartels?
The Mexicans have gone after financial and money laundering cartels very aggressively. And some of that has been because of our engagement through the bicentennial framework. I would also add, though, that they're not doing it out of altruistic reasons. There is a growing demand for the drugs that are being sent to the United States in Mexico. They recognize that. They understand the challenges they face with that. They see it happening in our country. And so it is in their interest to go after these networks. And I would argue that they're doing so aggressively.
Good. Last question, and for both of you, I'm trying to continue to build a record for the Enablers Act. It is part of the 2021 United States strategy on countering corruption to make sure that what is called by that strategy key gatekeepers to the financial system cannot evade scrutiny. We all know that if you're a bank, you have to follow robust anti-money laundering procedures, and that banks have gotten readily accustomed to following those. But all you have to do is go across the street to the investment advisor, and you can do all the things that would be illegal if done with a bank, with the investment advisor or with a realtor or through a law firm. And how important do you think it is for Congress to give you the tools to expand beyond just the banking industry and apply anti-money laundering authorities to all these other key gatekeepers? Undersecretary first, then we'll close out with Ambassador Robinson, and I'll go vote.
Very good, and absolutely look forward to continue to work with you on this question. We absolutely agree that there are financial intermediaries, gatekeepers, and the like that are obviously not covered by comprehensive AML/CFT obligations, and we are looking at this question in particular very closely, as you can imagine, with new urgency and I think a new spotlight in the context of what we're seeing out of our Russia elites, proxies, and oligarchs work, and the international task force that we created in support of that, as well as in consistent with the strategy on countering corruption that the
No
administration
doubt
put out
whatsoever
last
that
year.
the key gatekeepers should be covered.
And one of the things that we're doing, as you are aware, we have the authority to issue regulations to extend BSA obligations to investment advisors. So that's something that we're actively looking at in terms of a new rulemaking.
Well, I'd encourage you to proceed with vigor and dispatch. Ambassador Robinson, same question.
Totally agree with my colleague at Treasury. We think it's important to go after the middlemen, the enablers. The administration's executive order expanding on the Kingpin Act allows us to do that, and we are all for it.
Great. Well, we'll continue to try to provide you the authorities and the resources you need. I'll close with where I began, which is that I think that the international dark economy as a network, as a piece of infrastructure, is a very dangerous thing. It enables conduct that is antithetical, anathema even, to our values and to our national security. And yet, a considerable number of American and other rule of law country professionals engage in this conduct because we have not stopped them. And in that sense, we, the rule of law countries, are giving aid and comfort to our enemies in a clash of values that often results in actual kinetic harm in places like, we're seeing it in Ukraine right now, but there are many other places where a lot of cruelty and violence takes place because this conduct is facilitated by our side of the rule of law versus non-rule of law world. So thanks very much for your efforts to fight this from the front lines, and we'll try to keep sending you authorities and resources.